Your brain has been lying to you about where real power lives. And the most unsettling part isn't that you were misinformed, it's that you never even thought to question it. You wake up, check your phone, move money between accounts, buy stocks, send emails, stream content, and subconsciously assume that the true engines of the modern world sit inside skyscrapers, inside federal institutions, inside Silicon Valley campuses glowing at night. But the real nervous system of the American economy does not sit above ground. It stretches silently across the ocean floor, armored in steel, insulated in layers of protection, carrying pulses of light that determine the speed of your money, the synchronization of global markets, and the stability of international power structures, and almost nobody talks about it. Before we go deeper, if you want to understand how money, infrastructure, and global influence are truly connected beneath the surface, subscribe now, because once you see how this system works, you won't be able to unsee it. Every day, nearly $10 trillion in financial value move across borders, not metaphorically, not symbolically, real settlements, currency exchanges, derivatives contracts, sovereign debt transfers, equity trades, and interbank clearings that must occur in perfect synchronization between New York, London, Frankfurt, Tokyo, and Singapore. These transactions do not float through some magical cloud. They travel through physical fiber optic strands thinner than a human hair, bundled inside submarine cables stretching across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Over 95% of all international data traffic flows through these undersea cables. Not satellites, not wireless networks, but engineered corridors of glass and light resting thousands of meters beneath the ocean's surface. In the United States, particularly along the East Coast financial corridor between New York, New Jersey, and Northern Virginia, milliseconds are worth millions. High-frequency trading firms operate at the very limits of physics, designing algorithms capable of executing trades faster than human cognition. A difference of 1 millisecond, 1,000th of a second, can determine whether a firm captures a profitable arbitrage opportunity or loses it forever. That is why transatlantic cable routes between New York and London are engineered with obsessive precision, designed to be as straight as geographically possible, minimizing latency, because inside fiber optic glass, data travels near the speed of light, and light speed is the final competitive boundary in global finance. But finance is only one layer of this system. Beneath it lies something even more structural. The United States is connected to the rest of the world by dozens of major submarine cable systems landing along the coasts of New York, New Jersey, Virginia Beach, South Carolina, Florida, California, Oregon, and Washington. These landing stations look ordinary from the outside, fenced buildings near the shoreline, yet they serve as gateways where entire continents plug into American infrastructure. From there, data is routed into hyperscale data centers concentrated in Northern Virginia, currently the largest data center hub on the planet, where cloud giants process, store, and redistribute information back across the globe. When you log into your bank, your request may travel through your local ISP, into a regional backbone network, through a transcontinental fiber route, into a coastal landing station, across an undersea cable to Europe or Asia, into another financial network, and back, all in under a second. The illusion of instantaneity hides a deeply physical reality. There is no digital without physical, no cloud without cable, no global finance without infrastructure buried beneath salt water. And here is where the geopolitical dimension becomes impossible to ignore. Submarine cables are not just commercial assets, they are strategic assets. Governments classify their locations, monitor their traffic patterns, and treat them as elements of national security. During times of tension, cable routes become vulnerabilities. A damaged cable can slow markets, disrupt communications, destabilize regional economies, and force traffic rerouting that increases latency and reduces efficiency. While redundancy exists, multiple cables connecting the same regions, certain corridors remain more critical than others, especially those linking North America to Europe and East Asia. Historically, the first transatlantic cable in the 19th century connected North America to Europe for telegraph communications, shrinking weeks of communication time into minutes. Today's fiber optic successors carry terabits per second, trillions of bits of information every second, enabling streaming platforms, defense communications, satellite coordination, intelligence data exchange, and global payment networks to operate in real time. Modern cables consist of multiple fiber pairs, each capable of transmitting enormous bandwidth using wavelength division multiplexing, where different light wavelengths carry separate data streams simultaneously. Repeaters placed roughly 50 to 80 kilometers amplify optical signals to compensate for attenuation, powered through the cable itself from landing stations. This is not fragile infrastructure, it is engineered resilience. Yet it remains physically vulnerable. Fishing trawlers, ship anchors, undersea landslides, earthquakes, and in rare cases, deliberate sabotage have damaged cables in the past. On average, dozens of cable faults occur globally each year. Specialized cable repair vessels, equipped with remotely operated vehicles and grapnels, must locate the damaged segment, retrieve it from the seabed, splice the fibers with microscopic precision, reseal protective layers, and redeploy the cable. Repairs can take days or weeks depending on depth and weather conditions. In extreme cases, regions have experienced temporary isolation while waiting for repair ships to arrive. Now consider the psychological layer. Most Americans think of power in visible terms: political leaders, CEOs, military forces, tech founders. But the real leverage of the modern era often lies in infrastructure control. Whoever owns, routes, and optimizes the data arteries influences latency, cost, accessibility, and resilience. Major U.S. technology companies, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, have invested billions into private cable systems to secure bandwidth independence and reduce reliance on third-party carriers. This is not just expansion, it is strategic vertical integration of global connectivity. Your bank balance, your retirement account, your digital identity, your communication with someone overseas all depend on photons racing through glass fibers across oceans. Remove the cables, and satellites alone cannot sustain global data demand. Satellite systems are complementary, valuable for remote coverage, but their bandwidth and latency constraints make them unsuitable for carrying the bulk of international traffic. Undersea fiber remains unmatched in capacity, reliability, and cost efficiency per bit transmitted. The uncomfortable truth is this: the modern American economy does not merely use submarine cables, it rests on them. The dollar's global reserve status relies on trusted and synchronized financial communication. Wall Street's dominance depends on ultra-low latency connectivity. Defense coordination, intelligence sharing, global trade logistics all flow through this invisible lattice of fiber. And yet, because it is invisible, we psychologically downgrade its importance. We mistake what we see for what matters. We focus on apps, interfaces, headlines, elections, CEOs. Meanwhile, beneath thousands of meters of cold Atlantic water, armored cables quietly pulse with light, carrying the raw signal of civilization. So here is the shift in perspective. Power in the 21st century is not only about who controls land or airspace, it's about who controls throughput, who controls latency, who controls the arteries of data that feed markets and militaries alike. Infrastructure is strategy, bandwidth is leverage, speed is dominance. Everything changes when you realize that the digital world is not weightless, it is heavy, it is physical, it is engineered, and it is guarded. And once you understand that, you begin to see the world differently. You stop thinking of the internet as a convenience and start recognizing it as a critical strategic layer beneath modern life. The next time you move money, trade assets, send a message overseas, or watch global markets open in real time, remember, beneath the ocean floor, invisible threads of glass are carrying the pulse of your life at the speed of light. If this perspective changed the way you see the world, make sure you're subscribed, because the infrastructure shaping your future is rarely the infrastructure people talk about, and we're only getting started.